There are many things in life that don't translate particularly well through the decades. But while sometimes that can be something as trivial as a bad 80s perm, at the other end of the spectrum it can relate to a much bigger issue. Some people rewatching Friends, for instance, have argued there are moments in the hit comedy series that are homophobic, misogynistic or transphobic. The latest slice of cult entertainment from yesteryear under scrutiny? Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, the zany Jim Carrey flick released back in 1994. Do you know what I made the mistake of doing yesterday? I watched Ace Ventura, Pet Detective with my 8-year-old and my 10-year-old, Rogan said. I didn't realize how transphobic that fucking movie is. Rogan then discussed the main plot twist, in which a detective, played by cisgender woman Sean Young, is revealed to be transgender. All the cops are throwing up. It's off the charts, he added. Everyone is freaking out. It is so insanely transphobic. Rogan's guest, Bari Weiss, added, when I saw that movie, I was 10. Transphobia was not a thing. Now it is a thing. That's good. That's good news. Many others seem to agree on Twitter too, with one writing, have you ever rewatched a movie from your childhood and realized shit is not only unfunny but hella offensive? WTF? Why was I allowed to watch Ace Ventura? Another Twitter user also said, at the very least it's homophobic. Ventura reenacts the shower scene from The Crying Game, a film about a trans woman, as a response to having kissed a man he thought was a woman. And it's played for laughs. Grim. Someone else wrote, it's base-level comedy with no intelligence to it. I don't think it's either trans or homophobic as such, but it's touching the edges of being offensive. I do believe there's a difference. You can offend without hating something. Another person commented, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective is one of the most problematic movies ever made. Transphobic. This goes without saying. The dolphin's name is Snowflake, the alt-right's degrading name for people who fight for social justice issues. Makes fun of mental illness. Mental hospital scene. A third added, oh wow, the end of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective is super transphobic. Some others have defended the movie, with one person tweeting, so people that are just now watching Ace Ventura, Pet Detective for the first time are saying it's too offensive. Yeah, it is, because that's what we did then. We watched offensive shit without getting fucking offended like a bunch of bitches. End rant. Another argued, the character played by Sean Young was not trans. He was a man hiding as a woman to exact his revenge. Lighten up, it wasn't about gender discrimination. But Joe Rogan isn't the only person who's previously spoken about the potential transphobia of the movie. Trans model Monroe Bergdorf has also previously spoken out about the negative impact of watching the film as a child. She said on Instagram, as an 8-year-old, I remember watching the film Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, starring comedian Jim Carrey, at a classmate's house after school. Sorry to ruin the ending if you haven't seen it, don't bother. It ends in the movie's villain being caught, stripped to her underwear and exposed as in fact a man. Then to add insult to injury, everyone in the room starts vomiting as they have all engaged in sex with her. Seeing a scene like this, including a trans person, played by a SI woman, it may seem trivial to some, but I carried that punchline throughout my adolescence. It made me feel guilty and confused about who I truly was, so I pushed my true self into my subconscious and tried to be someone I was not. Fast forward 2 decades and I am so proud to be doing my bit for transgender visibility in the media. I'm by no stretch of the imagination a perfect person, but none of us are.